Good afternoon. It's Thursday, August 9. I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Persons applying for firearm licenses are now required to prove that they have a clear need to be armed before being approved. The latest move by the Firearm Licensing Authority, the FLA, is part of efforts to tighten the process. We have more in this report.
Show me you're capable and fit. That's the word from the Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, to persons who intend to apply for a firearm license. The new measure by the FLA follows last year's scandal, which revealed that persons of questionable background were granted gun licenses. Chief Executive Officer of the FLA, Shane Dalling, says the country's high crime rate is no longer enough a reason for seeking a gun.
So a need could exist based on the climate in the country. So a person could say that, well, the crime in the country is actually high, so I have a need. And that may have been the basis or the policy at one point. No, a clear need must be beyond just the situation that exists in the country. And you must establish that there is some threat or some activity that you engage in that require the use of the firearm.
Mr. Dalling was asked what is the reason for not granting a firearm permit to individuals who have cleared all security checks. Mr. Dalling explains that there is no right to bear arms in Jamaica.
So the firearm license is actually a privilege. And a privilege, I say, meaning that persons who are applying must show the need why they should have one over and above the normal need of the average person. That means we are taking on the same approach where, for example, New York City, although they have the right to bear arms in the United States, in New York City, you'd have to establish a clear need to have the firearm, while other states are more liberal in their approach.
He says the new policy will not affect current license holders when they renew their permits. In the meantime, the FLA says its new measures have reportedly led to a massive decline in the number of people applying for gun licenses. The FLA says applications have dropped from about 600 monthly to 250. The authority says a steady decline in applications started last year. Following a shake-up at the FLA, which saw the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA being called in to investigate irregularities in the granting of licenses. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, Terence Williams, says Jamaica needs a social agenda to help deal with the country's crime problems. He adds that if Jamaica continues to approach crime without social change, it will continue to be a problem. Mr. Williams was highlighting this issue on TVJ's Smile Jamaica program this morning.
Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, Terence Williams, said the government's approach to crime is not helping the problem, but helping to increase it. He adds that the strategy to kill the so-called bad men is not working. Mr. Williams said that Jamaica needs to fix the circumstances that caused crime and violence to wreak havoc in Jamaica.
We have seen in Jamaica many special police squads, and we know ACID and CMU. We have heard about them old time days. It was Rat Patrol. Yeah. We have all these squads and so on. And you hear that. But what we have seen is that really over time, the murder rate has gone up. We are not dealing with the conditions that causes crime and violence to flourish in the country. What we're trying to do is to take out these current persons, sometimes leaving the top man, and that other persons, other foot soldiers, replace those who are taken out.
He said the government needs to understand that justice by force is only a temporary solution, pointing to the Coral Gardens and the Tivoli incidents where the government used force to fix a problem. Mr. Williams added that the approach will only help to continue the cycle of violence and lack of respect for justice.
If you look at Morant Bay, Coral Gardens, Tivoli, at the times when they happened, I'm sure that a majority of persons would say, well, good on them for quelling that revolt. Because each of them, there was a good reason for the state to intervene with force. But for each of them, the state agents went too far. So it is an acceptance that we have that some persons' rights can be abused so that we can have order.
He said that Jamaicans need to have confidence in the security force and the justice system, that they will be treated fairly and equally.
The kind of social agenda I'm speaking about now is a simple one where we have equality as regards justice.
Okay.
With just that basic principle, which is a rule of law principle, that people are treated before the courts, access to the courts is the same for all, and we have this a system of true justice and accountability.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
The Jamaica Defence Force is being given until September to outline its intentions in response to the ruling of the Supreme Court last week. The ruling, which was handed down last Monday, gives the Independent Commission of Investigation, INDECOM, the green light to search the JDF headquarters. This as part of its probe into the May 2010 joint police-military operations in West Kingston. Speaking with TVJ News this morning, head of INDECOM, Terence Williams, says he's been studying the written judgment.
We have an indication from the other side that they are considering their position. So we are not taking any steps at this time until they have considered their position. You have to bear in mind that we are now in the legal vacation. So as a matter of fairness, we are giving them that time to consider their position and to consider that what they would want to do before we take any further steps in the matter.
He pointed out that what was highlighted as a major challenge.
A major point in the judgment, if you read it, is that is as regards whether we could investigate the 2010 operation, May 2010, given that INDECOM started in August 2010. And the majority felt that certainly we could, and that the procedures in the Act could be applied to events that occurred in May 2010. So those are the major issues in the findings.
The National Water Commission, the NWC, says it's not looking to increase water restrictions despite the rapid decline in water levels in one of its major water sources, the Hermitage Dam. Our reporter Shamela Pulling visited the dam this morning and filed this report.
The water level here at the Hermitage Dam is rapidly decreasing. It is now below 30%. It is a cause for concern for the National Water Commission and citizens, as several areas across the island is being affected by drought conditions. But more so, residents and businesses within the corporate area are braving for more restrictions, even though word has come from the Water Commission that no additional restrictions will be implemented at this time. And of course, we will bring you more in primetime news this evening at 7. Reporting from the Hermitage Dam in St. Andrew, I'm Shamela Pullen for TVJ News.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation is conducting an investigation to identify persons in need of general and emergency assistance as a result of Tuesday's fire at the Railway Market. Deputy Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Winston Ennis, says the KSAMC will be working to have the market restored. This is the second fire to destroy the market in less than a year. The fire destroyed 145 stalls and goods valued at millions of dollars. A two-bedroom dwelling was destroyed by flames in Seven Corner, St. Elizabeth yesterday afternoon. Reports indicate that around 2:30 an occupant of the house was cooking when she saw fire coming from a section of the house. The occupant alerted the fire department, and upon arrival, the fire truck met in an accident.
We get the go-ahead at the stoplight and a car coming speed running in the side of the truck.
It didn't cause any damage or anything? Any other vehicle?
Yes, so both of them get damaged. But we proceed to the fire career that somebody was trapped inside the house. So we proceed. Truck was able to proceed, so we proceed to the fire.
At least 800 persons benefited from the Health Village at the 2018 Denby Agricultural Show in Clarendon recently. The three-day event, which started on Saturday, saw trained medical professionals catering to both vendors and patrons. Parish Health Promotion Education Officer Anne-Marie Graham said the 70-person medical team emphasized physical activity as well as nutrition.
We have 3 physical activity breakout sessions. We also do screening. So we screen for the blood pressure, blood sugar, and we do VIA, that is pap smear. We also do HIV screening, we do height and weight, and we tell people about their BMI. Once you have an abnormal reading, what we do is that doctors are here on the buses. We also do school medicals as well. So the doctors will counsel anybody that has an abnormal reading. And if you're a newly diagnosed or newly hypertensive person, then you are being, you are attended to.
And in sports, it's a case of one Jamaican team having a foot in and the other having to fight for dear life to make the last 8 of the Scotiabank CONCACAF Club League. The two, Portmore United and Arnett Gardens, will know their fate when they host CD Santos of Costa Rica and Arabe Unido of Panama in their return legs at the National Stadium this evening. Jordan Fort reports.
It's as straightforward as it can be for Portmore United against Santos. Avoid defeat and they're through to the quarter-finals. The Premier League champions put themselves in the driver's seat following their 2-1 away win to take advantage back to Jamaica. A difficult task then, having been inactive since May. But now, with their feet wet, they'll be looking to make their advantage count on home soil.
Last summer, if you remember, we played in the same competition against Plaza Amador from Panama. We didn't have all our players, but then also we were kind of hampered by preparation, but now we're more prepared. And we're reaping the benefits of being prepared and being ready.
But they are aware that complacency could play a major part in what they want to achieve.
And that is something that we've been preaching, not just in the CONCACAF Champions League, but as well as in our RSPL, local Premier League. We want to be consistent and not complacent and be focused every game. That is what we preach to our players every day.
Javon East got Portmore United's first goal in the first leg, and he knows the feeling of scoring in front of the home fans.
In international football, as you get a chance, you got to put it away, and it counts for the team to get advantage in the game, during the game, so we can push and we got something to defend.
It's a different story for Arnett Gardens, who found themselves behind the 8 ball following their 3-0 defeat to Arabe Unido. It's an uphill task to overturn the deficit, but it's one the junglists believe is achievable.
We have been in this position early part of the season, and the end result, we score 4 goals and get ourselves out of this deep water. It's not going to be easy. I mean, it's a home game. We are looking forward to, maximum turnout from our supporters. Outside of that, the players will have to deliver on the day.
And having seen what their opponents have to offer, Arnett are now better equipped to fight the Panamanians.
Yes, we have played them in, all of 97 minutes. They scored 2 goals, from set play after 57 minutes 0-0. And we created 6 clear scoring opportunities in the 18-yard in which we didn't deliver. But the game tomorrow, it's a matter of do or die, so we will have to come up big.
The Portmore United match will kick off at 6:30 with the winner facing Motagua of Honduras, while Arnett Gardens kicks off at 9 with the winner playing FAS of El Salvador. Jordan Fort, TVJ Sports.
And that's Midday News. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for primetime news on behalf of the news, sports and production teams. Good afternoon.